Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more.
Coming up, part 1 of the France vs England doubleheader. Let's hear it for the girls.
So it's double-header day for the French and English sides as they play each other at the Stade Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan. It's Saturday the 24th of October 2021 and we have the women's game first. So let's delve into the two sides, beginning with the French women's side. So the team consists of mostly Catalan Goddesses side as players like Elsa Akbar, excuse me, Ellie Syria, Melanie Bianchi, and Leila Bazali are all from the Catalans club. They're also a very, very big pack. Watch out for, as the aforementioned Bazali, she is a big hitter at number 13, and also off the bench, Melis Baroque as another big player, physically statured, that will go forward. And we have Lauriane Biville, who was also a West Tiger up until the pandemic hit us, and they're coached by Vincent Ballup. And now the England side, where we see Tara Stanley at full back, with Jodie Cunningham going in at number 6, as well as Caitlin Beavers, the full back of Leeds Rhinos, who played on the right wing. We also have 8 Saints players that played in the grand final against Leeds Rhinos, playing on this in this 18-man person squad, while Emily Rudge captains the England side, and their head coach is Craig Richards. So it's England to kick off, but unfortunately for France, there was a fumble in their own in-goal area, which forces the ball out of the dead ball line for a dropout straight away. England get the ball back from the kickoff. After a bit of possession by England and fumbles by France, France have possession and a penalty as England slowed down in the ruck, which was called a 6 again, and the England player forced the ball out of the French player's possession. But unfortunately, from this penalty, the captain Syria's kick for touch actually fails to find the touchline, and England are back on the attack. We go into the 7th minute as it's little has happened. It stayed in the middle, but a lot of shall we say mistakes, handling errors. But France have shown that they are willing to throw the ball about. It's quite nice to see someone attacking England as well, but also in their own style. But England are attacking down the left-hand side as France have their D sorted out in the middle. It's very, very tight and very, very congested, and it needs to start sliding to counteract the England attack. But England seem to have the numbers on the left side this time. But for a Song Push tackle that forces a mistake from the England winger, and pushes the ball, forces the ball out into touch. So France get the ball. And we're back with England out in attack on the 9th minute, as on the last tackle, Tara Jones gets the ball on the 10th, in the 10-meter line of the French half. But France force a strip after the tackle is completed. England gets a penalty again and look left for an overlap. But Son Pushies were there once again as she tackles Rudge, which forces the pass by Rudge in the tackle to go behind her supporting players for the overlap and out into touch. Good defence from the French side, but there are warning signs of what England are going to do if they don't sort out their defence. On the 11th, England find themselves on the 20-metre line, but it seems like Dodd's kick, it goes out on the full, so France get possession back in a safer position than what they would have. When France are on the attack, they're finding gaps and they try to offload quickly, which is a joy to watch, but normally they do one play too many and the offloads are followed by mistakes. So a little bit of control, but do what they're doing in the right area, still cause England problems. A huge hit on England's Jones from the number 13. Her name eludes me once again, I apologise. This is... it is... no, that's the French men's. It's Bizarrely. Bizarrely again would putting herself around. A big, massive hit. Puts Jones on the back, but Jones is down for a little bit because the pressure that was put on during the tackle was unfortunately causes the England hooker's neck to be twisted in a bad direction. It's almost a crusher, but it was accidental. The ref was right to call it accidental at this point, even though Jones is an ex-referee. Well, is a female referee. She called for, why is it not gone on for report? On the 17th minute though, off the back of that, a big hit, France finally gets to the last and a serious kick is charged down, but France have recovered the ball and have their first set that is starting in the England half. And a bit of a mistake-a-thon that comes after this when we get to 23rd minute. But defensive efforts are I'll be proud to be called. The defensive efforts are something to be proud of by both teams. On the 23rd minute, England kick on the third tackle towards the right edge. It trickles just out of touch in the French 10-metre line, which is a bit of a let-off for France as their winger was up in the line. On the 25th minute, French have a better set and they get to the last for the second time and they get a kick away and Borak runs into the England half. On the fourth seems to be their highlights as it was a decent pass to her outside centre. But on the 26th minute, it's England that makes the first points scored the first points of the game, as Amy Hardcastle is the beneficiary of a royal run and fast play the ball. Cunningham finds Rudge out of the back, who finds Hardcastle a gap to run into, and she runs towards the try line and makes it easier kick for Stanley by scoring just left of the posts. Which Stanley adds the 2, and England are now in the lead at 6-0. England are back on the attack due to a French offensive penalty, tripping the defender up in the play the ball area on the 30th minute. This gives England go forward, and Stott hands the ball onto Paige Travis, who powers her way through the defence, handing off 1, 2, 3 French defenders to score left of the posts. And Stanley extends the lead to make it 12-0 with the conversion. After the 36th minute, the French line is being bombarded by the English, and some tough running, and France keep Whitfield out just on the 4th tackle, but on the 5th the ball is moved to the left and Rudge has the strength and reach to score a 3rd try for England. This time Stanley misses the conversion attempt to make it 16 points to 0 to England. And the hooter goes. And that's half time. So it's a bit of a this and that bitty art. 26 minutes for England and a difficult in possession half for France. But they can be proud of their defensive effort, both sides, because they kept each other out for quite some time in the game. England have got in front, but France can make a comeback from what I can see about the first half, as there are bits and pieces that they can be proud of. Don't forget, the French team's domestic competition does not start until December, so they've had minimal game time for a few months, maybe 6 months, and this is the first proper training session with the national team this week. We're going away from the international women's game. This game today, we have heard during the World Cup the England women's team will be paid on parity to the England men's team, which is a great advert for the women's team. Getting equal pay, same as their men's team, that's fantastic. That will give them the security to be involved in the tournament, and it's excellent. So let's go on to the second half. So we're going to the second half, and England score first after 3 brilliant drives from the kickoff. Whitfield first, then Hoyle and Rudge, who passes back inside for Cunningham and who races from 40 metres out to score under the posts. Stanley adds the 2 to make it 20 points to 0 to England. On the 43rd minute, England penalty in the French 40 metres lines due to a French ball steal attempt. A hard pass to Hardcastle, though, was spilled by the centre with the line calling. It was a great opportunity for the England side to go 24-26 points up. The French, though, get a penalty due to an offside, but their set comes to naught as the kick is caught by Hardcastle on the full, and they reach the English side, reach the kick, and the ball goes out into touch on the 20-metre line of the French defence, mainly due to a fantastic Jones run from dummy half on the third tackle. Off a 6 again, and a knocked on ball steal by England, France are in the England 20-metre line. First they go left on the third, and on the last, Hardcastle tackles on the right wing. Song push into touch, with her trying to attempt to get at the line. We come up to the 51st minute and England get a penalty due to a high tackle, but the kick does a fine touch also, and France are back in the England 10-metre line, but a knock-on by the French winger Bianchi, centre Bianchi, off a Varela grubber kick stops the French from scoring. France are not playing the scoreboard at this point, but they're playing with joie de vivre. Joie de vivre even. The French are in possession again on the 54th minute, playing well, but the French substitute is bundled into touch by some good English defence. The French have 2 penalties against them, first for a trip and a 3-man in a tackle ball strip on the English attackers in the French 20-metre line, and on the 4th, Rudge is in for a try that is left of the post after some great work finding a gap by Rudge in a very tight French defence, middle defence. Stott takes over the kicking for this point and adds the 2 to make it 26-0 to England. After a dropout from a great stopped kick gives England a great opportunity to set up an attack. And the Jones just picks up the ball and dives over the line from inside the 10-metre line of France. Stanley adds to 2 and England are now 32 points to 0 up. Straight from the kickoff, Grace Fields is on the field and marauds up the pitch and into the French half, but leaves the hit. She passes the ball onto Cunningham, who gets the big hit. But on the next tackle, England go right and Woozy is in possession of the ball, but French defence is there to cover and bundles her into touch. On the 69th minute, a French mistake and a high shot penalty conceded. England are in the attack again and they go left, and Rugby's setting up the attack in the French 10-metre line. She's holding it out, but her pass goes forward, so it relieves the French defence for just a few moments more. France, though, get on the front foot and have a great effort getting it to the last, and the kick is grubbered in goal, and it almost stands up for French chasers, but it just dribbles out. This gives England a tap on the 20-metre line, which Woozy returns with some good yardage. And on the next play, the ball goes to Goldthrop, who starts to move and make her move down the right wing. And she goes into the French half and offloads in the tackle to Beavers, who sprints in and scores right to the posts. Stanley adds the 2 for an 40 points to 0 lead for England. French have the last say in the game as a kick by Syria to the right is caught by the French number 4 centre, who passes it to Bianchi, who in turn ducks under the Stanley tackle to go in for a try. The video referee is called on to check for an obstruction between the two girls, but fortunately for France, should I say, it is given, and now it's 4 points to 40. Careza is attempting the kick, but fails to find the mark, unfortunately, and that is how all it rolls as England win this international test match. 40 points to 4. So I'm now going to reveal who is my player of the match, and it's not going to be a starter this time, as this player came on the pitch midway through the first half and completely changed the complexion on the go forward for the English team. Yes, it's an England player, because they were the winners over the better team over the two halves. That's all I can say about that. But this player is becoming a mainstay in the England team and will be starting, for sure, in the not too distant future. There are a lot of players with the same hairdo, but I've got to say, she was the first sub on the pitch, and England's goal forward in attack changed. They kept possession. There was no handling errors, and then they scored. And that player is Shauna Hoyle. Shauna was committed to the cause throughout the entire game. The stints lasted until 20 minutes into the second half, so she played basically 40 minutes of rugby, and every time she got the ball, non-stop committal, go forward, you're not stopping me. And that was replicated by Paige Travis, who got the bit of more applaudits because she got the try, and Whitfield, when she came on for a second stint, she got better. I think Paige Travis set up the platform for England to give them their dominant win in the end. Congratulations, Sean Ohio. And that's it for part 1, ladies and gentlemen, of today's reports. As please remember to like, subscribe, and set that notification bell on to let you know when the next one's coming out. As Anthony here is going to be releasing the second video at 5 PM, and that's for the men's game. Didn't want to overload you, wanted you to have something where you can have your tea and watch it again. Tell me what your thoughts of this video are, and what your thoughts of the England women. Do you think that there should be a yearly test between the two teams, a mid-season test, so that they can help grow both teams better? And maybe, or maybe a four nations: England, Ireland, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, and France. They are 4 female teams that are in existence at this moment in time. So, why not help them all grow? Yes, they'll be cannon fodder for our first few years, but it'll be interesting to see who comes second, as all 3 of those teams will get better. Plus, with the Women's Super League South, never know what could happen. But anyway, I will see you at 5 o'clock today, and I'll just say thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in a little while.